June 11th garden update. Summer's really coming in here, getting hot, so everything's switching over to the hot season stuff, and all the cooler season stuff starting to struggle with a little bit of the drought and the heat. But I went ahead and did a little cleanup on the garden, and just to get everything a little bit more airflow and get all the stuff that was struggling out of there. But right now, the okra's just starting to take off with that heat. I mean, it's growing exponentially faster now that the heat's here. I cleaned out all this area and put some beets, and I've had some critter problems. Usually it's just the squirrels, they dig little holes here and there, but something's really getting in here and digging up. So I'm thinking it's like a raccoon or a skunk or just something grubbing and wreaking a bit of havoc, but I've got enough planted here that it's not a big problem. But the beets are coming up good. I'm going to let those mature a little bit more before I start thinning them out. Like I said, the okra's really starting to come in. It's already starting to put some okra off, but that's going to be growing really fast here now that the heat's really set in. These tomato plants are doing great. These were a larger variety of cherry tomatoes. We'll see if that's true. I mean, right now they're looking the same size as the sweet 100s. I was able to get my earliest harvest of my tomatoes this year since the warm season started so early. I think I got my first tomato before June, which is crazy. But I'm doing the same thing last year, trellising these up. What? Hey, let me do this real quick. You don't get as many tomatoes as the sweet 100. It looks like there's only about 5 or 6 per cluster, which theoretically that should give it more, energy to put into each tomato. Maybe faster ripening, hopefully larger tomatoes. We'll see. I've been trying to find a larger tomato of the small varieties, of the cherry varieties, since the cherries grow so well. This little bed is not doing much. Like all the asparagus that I planted this spring hasn't done hardly anything. So I'm crossing my fingers, hopefully that that bed over there, that back side, was all asparagus I planted this year of mature, I think 2-year crowns, and only 2 little peeps have popped up, and I'm starting to worry, but whatever. I think the ones I planted last year, they didn't really do anything until the end of the year, so we'll see. This bed had the Claytonia, and I forgot the name of the other one, miner's lettuce. I've deemed this bed just a little too early to start trying to get a permanent crop in here, or a permanent perennial rotation. I just need to get this bed and the soil worked a lot better. It's a new bed, a year old, and I'm slowly working compost, but you can still see there's a lot of clay in here, and I just need to get a ton of organics. I think I'm just going to drench this thing with 2, 3, 4 inches of compost over the winter. But for now, I went ahead and cleaned it out and tried to get some beets growing in here, but we'll see. The beets, it's a little late in the season for that, but I figured I'd just used up my last seed pack and see what happens. The walking onions, they're staying strong. It actually put off a little bit of the headlet, whatever you call those little seeds at the top of, they'll pop up a cluster of them, and I planted those individuals. You can see that little teeny guy right there, and supposedly there's 2 in there also. But actually 2 in there, 1 there and 1 there, and all of those survived. So I'm hoping this will be a good cluster of walking onions eventually. My eggplant are just starting to put fruit off. They've been flowering, and you're starting to see, not on this one, this one's got planted right in the ground with some crappy soil, but it's doing decent. But you can just see the difference between that little guy and this bigger one here, just what the difference the soil makes. But those are starting to put fruit off. The Swiss chard is doing great. I've always got extra Swiss chard, which I love the stuff, so I plant a bunch of it and give a bunch away. But I got this entire bed cleaned out. All the cool season stuff I ripped out, and that sorrel was taken over, so I really chopped it back and we'll see what happens to it. I don't eat much of it, so I don't care if it doesn't come back, but I'm trying to whittle that cluster down to where I've only got a little clump of it, because that's all I really need. The eggplant in here is doing great, so I think I'll continue to do eggplants in this bed from the years out. I did one about 3 years back and it did really well, and it's doing good this year. Just those little beetle bugs that usually come in about this time is usually the problem, but I'll play that by ear. All of this, what do you call this? Something red vein, something spinach. I forgot the name of it. I'm drawing a brain fart here. But that's all volunteers, and that's worked good. You know, I was a little worried that it was all coming in the edge, but I'm just harvesting that as the shoots. I'm harvesting about a foot on each one. So as it shoots up, I harvest it and it just keeps on going. So that's actually a good way to do it. Instead of letting it vine all the way up, I just harvest the shoots when they're about a foot long and they just keep on coming. What do you call it, ground cherries. They were shaded out. I had a bunch of beets in here, and this Swiss chard had gotten big. So now that that's opened up, I think I'll start getting a decent amount of ground cherries. And you can see that monster ground cherry just past the eggplant. It's doing really good. I think there's 2 or 3 plants in there, so I'm gonna let that just be a big old bush of cherry tomatoes, and let that guy start going too. But right here is where all my asparagus were. You can see I've only got one little guy right there popping up, and one little one right there. But this whole bed should be full of asparagus. I'll get it eventually, because I do want that to be a permanent little bed of asparagus. I got a few beets left. They're shaded out by the ground cherries here, which is probably good because that heat's kicking in, giving them a little bit of shade. Volunteer Amaranth popped up. I need to harvest that. Just go ahead and pull that up. Let that ground cherry there trying to pop up, do its thing. This is the Sweet 100, and I'm doing a little different this year. Got one, well, you can't see it from that angle. Got a little pipe there with a T at the top, and I'm just pulling a bunch of strings and letting that, and training about 4, 5, 6 lines up to the top there, and then I'm just gonna let it fall down once they get up to the top. That's doing good. I've got a handful of cherry tomatoes off this one already. Here's some more of the spinach, red vine spinach, whatever you call this stuff. This is where the critter came in here and just totally tilled this up. That was full of a bunch of them, so all I got is around the edges now. That's about it. The Jerusalem artichokes over there are going nuts. They're already as tall as my fence, and they're starting to get out of the box. So I need to get in there and really get the edges tilled up so those don't take over. Front yard, just got that cleaned up. All the pepper plants and the Swiss chard and the kale and the scallions are doing great up there. But I think right now, all those open spots in that bed, I'm gonna try to do a late tomato plant this year to see how that works. I usually just do early tomato plants and get sick of them by the end of the year and don't worry about it. But for experiment, I'm gonna do one about where that owl is on that corner, and the same thing with that T, and let it start growing up and see how it does. And all the other spots, I'm gonna do just some bush beans. Whatever doesn't take here, I'll probably put bush beans too, because these bush beans don't mind a little bit crappier soil. But yeah, that's about it. June 11th, 2017, North Carolina. Getting hot. Peace out.